Hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest, 8-Second Gaming, and in today's video we're going to be talking about why the Apex dev team has really just gone completely radio silent as to what's coming up with the game. Before, they weren't really the best at it, but at least there was some communication as to the changes, patches, potential buffs or nerfs, and more, but now we really hear next to nothing from them. So let's go over as to why they aren't really too keen on talking to the community right now and even give a potential solution to the issue at the end. But if you guys are interested in learning all the ins and outs of Apex, starting to control every lobby that you drop into and absolutely dominating the competition, then you need to check out the GameLeap website right now. Over there, we have top level coaches who know what it takes to play at the highest ranks, all making guides and courses to make you the best player you can be. So if you want to start climbing Apex, really get better at the game, click the link in the description, pick yourself up a membership and start improving right now. Now, starting things off, we have to rewind the clocks a little bit, because back in previous seasons of Apex, we used to get constant feedback of the game from multiple devs. And it was even to the point where we actually had dev streams where they would showcase upcoming features and give players a real special inside look. And I gotta say, a lot of the community, including myself, loved that aspect. It allowed us to really weigh in on upcoming changes and even give the devs some abilities to make adjustments before the game went live. And it also got everyone hyped for the new patches. Those dev streams were really the foreplay leading up to the new season, and it was a lot of fun to watch. Now, I do have to admit, sometimes not all the feedback that we got was amazing. There was actually a time where one of the devs called Apex players asshats and freeloaders, and that was a crazy time for Reddit and Twitter. If you didn't get to experience it, you missed out. It was wild. But okay, so why the sudden drop in feedback from them? Well, a lot of it actually has to do with the fact that the dev team is now basically new people in a way. A lot of the old dev team, kind of in quotation marks, that players know from Titanfall and the ones who really made Apex at the start are all gone. People like Daniel Klein, Jason McCord, and Chad Grenier, just to name a few. And quick side note before you guys commented, I do know that Daniel Klein was fired and didn't quit, but it still just kind of adds to the point of the old dev team being replaced. But back on subject, with the new team taking over, they have different goals and plans in mind for how they see Apex running. And yeah, sadly, it doesn't seem like they're doing too much in terms of updating the player base. But it's not all dark clouds, don't get that confused. We do have John Larson, who is one of the game designers for Respawn. He used to be the live balance director, but his bio on Twitter has changed, so I'm not sure if his position did also, or what's the story with that. But yeah, there's that. And then we also have Josh Medina, the senior producer at Respawn. And these two are basically the dynamic duo of the Twitter world. Most of, if not all the updates other than the main Apex Twitter account come from these guys. John Larson was actually the one who took all of the ideas that PvPX had been throwing out for ranked and made a huge twit longer about them that was pretty much an entire essay on its own. Seriously, it was really long, and if you guys are interested in reading something like that, it was a while ago, but it is a very good read. It gave a ton of really good inside knowledge on how the dev team takes a look at issues and problems and how they kind of work them out internally. But those days have kind of passed. Other than a few questions that these two have thrown out here and there, most of the stuff that these guys have been talking about is from their personal lives and other random stuff. I'm not complaining about them tweeting about their lives. It's a Twitter account. It's a place to share stuff like that. I'm just talking about the major shift from communication to now personal accounts that they have seen. But the dev team changing isn't the only big factor. There is another major one, and that is the community itself that Apex has. Twitter and Reddit are very toxic places. There are a lot of loud people who make the experience there very unsettling for a lot of the dev team members. Like, these guys really push the boundaries. Even the hideouts, the lead for the team that bans the cheaters in Apex, who has nothing, I repeat, nothing to do with the changes that are made to the game. He is literally just there to ban cheaters. That's it. He doesn't touch anything else. He gets constant hate and harassment from the player base. Like, just look at these screenshots and just see all the different types of messages that he gets all the time. People threatening to beat him up, people calling him all sorts of gamer words, and just really hammering home the fact that people actually don't have any idea what he does for Respawn. And these are just the ones that he shares. Imagine the ones that he doesn't share, because of how shocking they are. And I'm absolutely certain that if he's getting these types of messages, other members of the dev team are getting them as well. And it's not just from regular average Joe players. Even the pro players do send hate towards the dev team every now and then. Like the most recent example is once again towards Hideouts. It was the drama between his Watson, Imperial Hal, and Hideouts kind of got caught up in it. His Watson has been targeted by cheaters and stream snipers because he's the #1 predator right now and Hal is #2, and it's a very close battle between who is actually going to end #1. But because his Watson was getting hit by so many different cheaters, he was getting very frustrated and pointed out the fact that because he wasn't as big as Imperial Hal, he didn't have Hideouts on speed dial to ban those cheaters and was at a disadvantage. And there was actually a very long Twitter conversation between Hideouts, his Watson, and a bunch of other people weighing in as well. And Hideouts did make it very clear that he doesn't have Imperial Hal on speed dial or any way that for him to specially contact him. He bans cheaters as he sees them and as they kind of get to his desk type of thing. So it was basically his Watson just getting frustrated, lashing out, and Hideouts happened to be there to be the target. So with this kind of stuff happening all the time, the devs are really a lot more hesitant to start putting stuff out that relates to the game for the community to see. Less talking about the game means a lot less time in the crosshairs of those angry types of people. And yes, guys, I do know that not everyone is like that, but it is a pretty loud minority that does it. And for those of you who don't know, I used to create a lot of content on TikTok. I would do mostly tip content there as well, and even just doing that, I was getting hate messages constantly. And it wasn't just messages of people calling me names. I can deal with that. I actually found it quite funny, but people were threatening me. It was really weird. The Apex community can be very bloodthirsty when they want to be, and if I was a dev, I wouldn't want to deal with it either. So what can be done to fix this? What's a solution for all this? Some type of middle ground needs to be formed, where the community gets all the updates that they need and the dev team doesn't really have to put themselves at the mercy of Twitter. Well, to be honest, the best thing to do is what's known as a roadmap. Basically, it's an outline of the season. It has event times, LTMs, and everything that they have planned for the season. With those, the community knows exactly what to expect and when to expect it, and it's all in one nice, neat post on the main page, so there isn't any harassment that the devs have to deal with. Now, actually, Respawn has done roadmaps in the past with Season 12. When Season 12 first came out, they released this picture where it showcased every single detail of the season. We saw the LTMs that they had planned, the battle pass, the rank split maps, the pub map rotations, the in-game events, and other small details, all in one fantastic post. Everyone was so happy to see this. We got to know exactly what we were getting ourselves into, but we didn't see one for Season 13. They just didn't do it again. And honestly, I'm not going to be surprised if we don't see one for Season 14 also. But you know, if there's any Apex devs that are listening right now, definitely make a roadmap for Season 14. And here, to help you guys out, if you are an Apex dev that's watching it, there's this amazing fan-made roadmap concept art that was posted on Reddit where it breaks down each month of the season. Each season is 3 months long, so each month there's LTMs and events, and then at the end is a health update to patch minor bugs and deal with issues that have popped up during that time. And then at the end of the season, they cap it all off with in-game teasers and trailers, plus a dev stream showcasing what's coming in the new season. And this type of thing would be absolutely game-changing for the Apex community. Not only would we get all the answers to what's coming in a season and not have to rely on data leakers, but I love the idea of an end-of-the-month health update. I'm sure that you guys can all agree that throughout the splits, a lot of little bugs and issues pop up here and there, and it takes them a while to fix it. The big one for this season is obviously like the matchmaking and Loba's bracelet, but Loba's bracelet they're working on, they have talked about it. That's one of the small things that we have actually gotten answers on. But yeah, the matchmaking we haven't heard anything on. That's a different issue. Yeah, I think this example right here could be the best thing that the Apex devs could do for the game. It would bring so much life back into things and really start to repair the connection between the devs and the player base. Because right now, the bridge between them is like from those old jungle movies where the ropes are all old and decayed and they're missing planks of wood here and there. Only a few brave souls can cross the bridge, but the majority of the people just opt to stay on their respective sides and not interact with each other. Now I want to pass this off to you guys guys and get some community feedback. What do you think the devs could do in this situation? If you were in their spot, what would you be thinking of doing in order to make sure that everyone is happy in this type of spot? Let me know in the comments down below. I want to see what you guys are thinking, especially from people who may not be really connected in the Twitter or Reddit worlds. Get some real fresh outlooks. But with all that being said, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you did and you want to stay up to date with the latest and greatest Apex Legends tips, tricks, and news, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys all for watching. Once again, I'm 8 Second Gaming, and I'll see you guys in the next one.